Okay, in the last episode, we set up the whole source generator and added it into our project or our solution, and we're able to create a log file. In this episode, we will start with we will do a little workaround to actually get, as you can see here, a txt file. So the thing is, with the Roslyn Source Generator, you actually only can create .cs files. So, and normally you also don't output the files. But in this tutorial, we're gonna create files that aren't just C# scripts, because we want to make our lives easier. So basically for me, I want to generate some XML files for Avalonia. If you don't need anything else than C# scripts, then don't do it like me, because if you don't output the files, it's just stored temporary, so you don't have to go through all this shit here, and it's a bit janky, as you will see later in the video. But if you want to generate something else than just C# scripts, that's possible, but yeah, a bit janky. Okay, but even for a log file, or we're gonna do it on the example of the log file, because we don't want to write / always to comment it out. We want to be able to just write a log file, a .txt file, and that's what we do in this video. So basically, I've set up a bit more than just a test logging. I created a folder for the sub modules, created the class UI generator with the void generate UI. It takes the source production context, I type symbol type, attribute data attr, and out will come string to log. And we just set log equals hello from generate UI. So that's just to set up everything. In the next video, we will start with our generation logic in here. Alright. Or basically, yeah, it's just to split it up, so not everything is in our source generator.cs. So, in here, that's the function we created last time. I've just extended it a bit, did some more logging, starting generating process, then we check if the array is default or empty. If not, we start to go through all the symbols in there or in the array, and we'll start generating for each attribute whatever is needed. And here we log that we're finished again and add the file to source. That's the whole magic. You can also leave this and the generate UI.cs file away for now. It's just for the next video, some preparation I've did. So now when you will build this, because as you can see it's not commented anymore, or I can build it real quick. For me, there won't be any errors. For you, there are definitely gonna be some errors, because the problem is, I can set it on generate real quick, and I'll delete my txt file here. So when I build now, you will see in here it generates log.ygen.txt.cs. So that's also important. for the suffix or for the file extension, don't write ygen.cs or whatever you have in here. Write whatever .txt.cs. Very important, because the .txt is what we want in the final output. And now, as you can see, it's still a CS file, and this will give us some syntax errors. So what I've done to work around for that is I've written a pre-built bat file, so we run this before the compilation starts. Basically, I've set up a logger in here, which will, or the pre-built.bat file is directly in the project folder, and the output is or will be in the pre-built output.txt file. So basically here I set the directory where the generated files will be put out, and then we'll just check in here real quick if the file, if the folder even exists. If not, we just log that and exit. So that's, for example, when you build it the first time and there's nothing generated yet. So it won't run in any, or run the whole code in here, and run in some errors because the directory isn't there yet. After, we just run through every file in there which ends on .ygen.txt.cs. If you have something else than .ygen, just change this for you. After that, we will remove the last 3 characters. So that's the .c and s. So from .txt.cs, it will change to just .txt. Then we check if there is already an existing file with this name. If yes, we delete it. And after, we rename the new file so it replaces the old one. And then in here we just check if it worked, else we log an error, and here is the log that it's done. That's the whole magic for the pre-built.bat file. Now in the CS project of your, not of the source generator, of your main project, add this target, pre-build, or target name is pre-build before targets pre-build event, and execute command pre-build.bat. If you don't have it directly in this folder, you have to put the directory in front. So this will run. You can try run it, check if there are any errors. With the bat files, check the log, the logging, check if the file will get converted to a txt. And for you, it should look like this. So I run it, and now I've got the txt file in there, but I still have some errors because the source generator still, or the build still thinks it's, I'm sorry, because the compiler still thinks it's .cs files and gives it some syntax errors. That's just a problem we have with Roslyn. We have to keep the syntax. The compiler after won't argue with this because he will see, okay, it's a txt file or it's an XML file, whatever. So now you don't really can use this code. It got generated, and it will get converted, but that's, yeah, it doesn't really work. Like, when I will run it again now, just a second, as you can see, there already got the .cs file generated. And the problem now is it won't be renamed because we run our bat script, and then after the bat script, the source generator comes in and generates a new file, and he won't see, okay, there's already a file in there because it's another file for the source generator. So we also can't use the post build event because it's, yeah, we have to do it between the source generator and the compilation of the project. And that's not possible as far as I know. So the workaround I've did is I've created a new configuration, the generate configuration. So in debug and release and whatever, you always want to have the source generator not checked. So don't use source generator except for this specific generate configuration. So when I switch now to debug, I first get an error when I build it once, but the second time I won't run in any errors and should be able to run the code. Here, let me try to run it, and it perfectly works. So the workflow now is you do whatever you want to do with your code, and then you see, okay, now I want to generate the UI for this, for example. Then you switch to generate mode, build it once. This will result in some errors. We switch back in debug mode or whatever. Build it once again. And now, when we run it, like the first time, it still gets an error. We can't do anything about this. But now, ta-da, it works. And we have a perfect ygen.txt file and won't get any errors. So that's our base workaround, how to get rid of any errors. We also don't have to manually change all the extensions of the files now. It's just gonna do all by itself. We just have to switch between generate mode and debug mode. That's the whole magic. That's the workaround I've came up with. Maybe you have a better idea. If yes, please let me know if there's something more convenient than this. Because I'm not entirely happy with this solution, but it works. Yeah, it doesn't really work like you would use a source generator. So if you don't have to use this, just don't do it. It's much more convenient if you don't have to do it like this. But yeah, if you want to generate anything else than this .cs file, that's the way I figured out to do. Yeah. So in the next episode, it's gonna be a shorter one right here, but in the next episode we will start, where is it? In our UI generator class, we will start to actually generate the 3 files. So that's gonna be interesting, even if you don't need any special files like an XML file or a TXT file. In here you will see how to access the fields, the attributes, and generate some code based on this. So stay tuned for next time, and see ya in the next video.